Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought today we would talk about how to easily grind the F-5A, but before we get into that, I wanted to show you some pretty cool stuff when it comes to it. So if you want to actually preview it yourself, you can go to Achievements, Freedom Fighter, and then click this button right here. And then also you can see all of the other prizes that are around for it, which is really cool. So you can see basically what you're grinding out and also what weapons it has access to, and even test out the penguin if you want to. The thing I wanted to show is the camo, which I think is actually really cool. So this is the camouflage that you can grind out. It's the same one as in the background. And the thing that I found really cool about it is the sidewinders actually have camo on it, and also the external fuel tanks, which is actually really cool. There is an extra thing here, but that's just for the penguin missile. Don't worry about that. And yeah, it's just a really nice camo. And I think it just looks awesome with the way that they've actually done it. I hope that this kind of opens up new stuff in War Thunder where we can get new individual camos for missiles and also for externals too, which is something we've seen over the last year. Anyway, let's get into the video. So when it comes to these events, the best way to manage them is basically by breaking them down into smaller pieces. This is something that we've talked about quite a lot. If you want a simple way of doing the event where you don't really have to think about anything, you could just go play Air Sim. You could basically just pick a room. Most of them don't have anybody in them, and then you could just grind out the event in there if you wanted. Even if you don't want to, you can always just get people together and create your own room, and then end up just grinding out everything basically together in a Discord, which is what a ton of people do, which is completely silly that you're allowed to do that, but c'est la vie. This is the world that we live in. But when it comes to the way that I approach the event, I approach it in terms of goals, having a look at things that I want to spade, having a look at things that I want to play, and then kind of going from there. So for example, I have specific vehicles that I want to play during this event, which are, on the list to kind of grind out. The MiG-27K, for example. The Su-24M is another one. I also want to grind through some of the Thai vehicles in the Japanese tree and more of the Hungarian vehicles in the Italian tree, since those are the two most recent additions to the game. And the whole point of this is to give me kind of little goals to focus on while doing the overall larger goal. Other things to also focus on is stuff such as the dailies and also special tasks, and also at the same time things such as the battle pass challenges that are going around. So all of these little minor things that add up quite a lot. For example, for something like the Pages of History, as long as you are doing rank 3 or above in the Pages of History, what ends up happening is you need a 20,000 mission score for that, and that can actually translate to 20,000 mission score or even more towards the mark of distinction. So you can be half of it done and also get a challenge done on top of it. Then do your dailies, then do your special tasks, and you're at 35k without even thinking when it comes to the day. So for me, that's something that is good to focus on, that is something that's good to look at, and also just kind of get done, which works really, really well. Now, I ended up actually getting the coupon for the last event by accident, which was kind of surprising after playing a lot of French stuff and also a lot of Israeli stuff as well with the Turan 6, and this coupon is exactly the same when it comes to the F-5A. So I feel like just by spading vehicles and working on different stuff and keeping yourself entertained by trying different things over and over again, you can easily do this as well by, if you have enough time, of course, because that's always the big limiting factor. Now, the other part of this is looking at the actual kind of scores themselves. So you need 45k every 2 days. The event has started today, so you have a 2-day period to get the 45k, and then the next one starts after that. So whether you want to kind of push through and get the 45k done in a day, or if you want to half it up, I would actually say halving it up is probably better if you have time to do that, because then you can do your dailies on both days, then you can do your specials or challenges on both days, so it's a bit easier to actually do that. Once again, compartmentalizing the issue and pushing forward with it. Then for me, I generally do it all on one day, but that's just because I have a bit more time than most people. And also when it comes to the goals that I'm doing, I push forward to a specific thing and then kind of get it done there. And after that, after doing the market distinction, then I still make sure to continue with the goals for that day. So if I have a goal which is just to spade a vehicle, or whether it's to do a certain special or certain dailies or challenge, you continue to do it. Now, this might not be best for certain people because, of course, this can lead to burnout because you're, playing multiple hours a day. For some people, it might be better just to stop at that point. Once you finish those minor goals, wait and then pick it up later on. Take breaks, which, is one of the things that's super important in terms of this type of event. And another thing to also remember, air events are usually the easiest for people to grind out in terms of coupons, and that's because they abuse the simulator system and also abuse other systems in the game in order to get the coupon upgrade. So if you are a person who really doesn't want to kind of grind this out in a big way, just understand that the market price for the F-5AG is probably going to be a bit less than other vehicles that we've seen recently. And that's because there's just going to be more on the market and the demand for it. I mean, let's be honest about this vehicle. It is an F-5A, which, is a very fun vehicle to play, but its direct competition is the AJ37 and the AGS37. And the AGS37 is just way better than it in terms of the ordnance that it gets, and it is also a lower BR. So just understand that as we go through it. Like it's got direct competition in its tech tree, and technically the one in the tech tree is better. So it's not going to be a crazy high price. So if this is an event where you just kind of want to chill, maybe, give everything else a go and not do the marks of distinction, it won't be that pricey on the market if that's how you see these things. Another thing to also mention about this general event, since it is 9 marks of distinction, and if you only want the vehicle, you can miss one. You can miss a mark, which obviously gives a little bit more breathing space. I would obviously say it's best not to miss one, because once you miss that one, you add extra pressure to yourself, which means that, oh, well, I can't miss any more than that. And obviously that it can be a killer for a lot of people. A lot of stress goes into these things. And to be honest, there really shouldn't, I understand that the FOMO stuff is quite big for a lot of people, and you've got to be careful with certain things like that. But I honestly feel with these events, the way that they do them now is you can kind of like pick and choose the ones that you want. So it's much better in terms of what we saw in the last events, like last year, which were you got to grind everything all at the same time. This one is like, okay, we'll just focus on this and we'll just get this done as we go. Another thing as well is playing higher ranks is better. And also playing Sim or RB specifically is better because you get higher multipliers. Rank 7 is preferred. There is a lot of vehicles nowadays at rank 7. Rank 8 has the same modifier as rank 7. So you don't get anything better by playing rank 8 vehicles compared to rank 7. So if you feel a bit more comfortable playing slightly lower BRs and jets, then this, of course, is something that you should focus on. Vehicles that I'm going to be looking at in terms of playing, obviously after the BR changes, there's a bunch of them that I would like to have a bit of a go on and see how they do. There's also stuff like the MiG-21s, the good old MF and Bissau. I want to see what position they're in at the moment. Going to give some of the Tornadoes a bit of a grind as well, since a lot of them are going down in BR. And of course, picking vehicles that aren't just, good at air-to-air combat is also going to help to have secondary vehicles to go for, which can just kind of grind out about a bit of mission score without really thinking. So for example, for me, the SB2C5 for France is one that I can just pick up, do an air superiority daily with, or do a mass destruction with, and not really think about. Or some of these strike aircraft, the IL-10, for example, is very good. Stuff like the AD2, AM1, the AD4, all are fantastic at kind of the multi-role idea, where you can just kind of chill at mid-tiers and then just hit things and then go on to others. But if you want to be as efficient as possible, you should be using jets. Jets are the way forward for this for obvious reasons, because you will be able to get everything done with them as quick as possible. Jets and Simulator is the way to go, or whatever game mode you are most comfortable in, because of course that is the main thing. Comfort, you need comfort picks back when things aren't going well during the event, and that's what I'm kind of talking about. So stuff like the SP2C, stuff like the AM1 for me are comfort picks. And for jets, you know, for comfort picks, you have a few others that are around, which are quite nice as well. The Alpha jets are actually quite interesting to give a go at. I would highly recommend them. Stuff like the F-4E isn't in a bad space right now, especially with the BR changes. Some of the MiG-21 BISs, the J7E is a really fun vehicle at the moment, and then also other ones which are around the place, which have a little bit of defense and a lot of offense. A lot of the F5s are surprisingly in this role. So hopefully this video has helped. Hopefully you can grind out the event and not worry about it too much. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecovo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.